My heart pounded as we passed the guards, but the men weren't paying us any mind, their attention drawn to the few women who were catcalling at the men still on ships, their faces heavily painted.
What in the hell are you all doing?
A man rounded the side of the wagon, a severe frown set in the heavy jowls of his face.
This isn't...
Quiet.
The man went silent as he stared into Casteel's eyes. His entire body had gone stiff, as he was held there, suspended by invisible strings of compulsion. I was fixated myself, as it was so rare to see Casteel use compulsion.
You will not say a word, any word, while these crates are loaded into your wagon. You will not make a single sound. Once the crates are loaded, you will take them to wherever it is you're going. Understand?
The man nodded, blinking slowly, and then he just stood there as the other crew surrounded us with their crates. I couldn't help but stare at the blank expression on the man's face.
Go.
Perry leaned in between us. Bottles rattled from the crate Delano and Kieran placed in the wagon.
And may the gods be watching over you.
May the gods be watching over you.
Casteel slipped around Perry and nudged my shoulder as he brushed past. I turned, glancing briefly at Perry. Be careful.
I will, my queen.
Turning, I kept pace with Casteel as we quickly slipped into the cloaked and jacketed mass of workers streaming in and out of the rise gate. Scanning the crowd, I knew better than to look behind us for Delano and Kieran. They would find us. I focused ahead. The closer I got, the worse the smell became. Sweat and oil mixed with the scent of spoiled fish. I knew it would only grow, increasing due to all those forced to live in the small homes below the rise, nearly stacked on top of each other, where the sun didn't seem to penetrate. The stomach-churning smell wasn't the only thing I noticed. The condition of the rise caught my attention. There were tiny fissures throughout the massive, thick structure. I'd never seen anything like it, and couldn't quite think of what could have done that kind of damage. Look at the rise. Casteel's head lifted the slightest bit. He said nothing as we crossed through the gate with the throng of workers entering the city. He led us toward the narrow streets of the business district, where markets crowded the road, covered with the waste that horses and mortals alike had left behind. Awareness pressed against my back, and I knew that Kieran and Delano had found us. A horse-drawn wagon passed, the driver hunched over and unaware of the small child racing along the cobblestone sidewalk, carrying a stack of papers. His red-cheeked face was stained with soot, and his blonde hair was slick and unkempt as he rushed into the street. Casteel's hand snapped out,
Hey!
catching the child by the scruff of the neck and hauling him back.
Let go of me, sir!
The boy held onto the newspapers with everything in him.
I ain't done!
Powerful hooves of the horse and wagon wheels pounded by, inches from his face.
Shit!
You're welcome.
Casteel placed the child on the sidewalk. The kid whirled around, his eyes wide.
Thank you, sir. I would have been flattened like me mama's bread.
Flattened like his mama's bread?
Delano whispered behind me, and I fought a laugh. Casteel's hand slipped inside his cloak.
You can thank me by telling me what happened to the rise, to cause the cracks in it.
The child's brows knitted as he stared up at the shadowy area of Casteel's face.
It was the ground, sir. It rocked here, and I heard from Telly at the fish stand that the ground shook all the way to the Capitol. My mama said it was the gods, that they'd been angered.
I didn't know what would cause such a quake, but I knew it hadn't been the gods.
When did this happen?
I don't know. Like a month or so ago? How do you not know when everything was shaking?
I suppose I was sleeping.
I rolled my eyes. The boy stared at him in disbelief, but the look quickly turned to wonder as Casteel withdrew his hand from his cloak, dropping several coins atop the stack of papers. The child's little eyes widened.
Next time, try looking both ways before running out into the street.
Thank you!
The little boy then took off.
Just so you know, he did not look both ways.
Of course not.